What is going on, my good people? Man, this is your main man, Ben, here. We are Talk Active, practicing wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. What's happening, folks? Happy Thursday to everyone. It is what I'm charging my watch right now. I don't have it. January 26, 2023. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Smooth, it's Junior Friday. That's what they call it. Happy Junior Friday. First and foremost, I would like to thank our supporters in this channel. I truly appreciate the little things, the coffee donations. Amazing how little things push us to be better. And by the way, guys, before anything else, it is a new Chinese New Year. To our Chinese brothers and sisters, Kong Hei Fa Choi. Kong Hei Fa Choi. Happy New Year to everyone. Man, speaking about that New Year, I don't want to bash you, anything about your plans, your insights, or anything in that nature. But I just want to check out, how is your New Year? How is the journey so far? I hope you guys are living the dream, that workout routine and all that stuff. Man, so far, I'd like to give you my update. I've been going to the gym at least 3 times a week. I'm going to bump it up a little bit, soon. But man, it takes 21 days to establish that, little bit of kicked in muscle memory. It becomes natural. It becomes a second nature. So 21 days, guys, to develop a good habit. If you go 3 times a week, that's good. It takes 21 days for that to register, maybe a little bit more, since 3 in a week is 7. So it probably take 3 to 4 months. That would be the threshold in my own personal experience. It takes time. It's not just January. If you got that goal, hopefully you guys are still motivated. That's what we called muscle reflex, 21 days. Just a little tip there, man. But first and foremost, guys, I hope you guys are still have that New Year feel. Don't forget the 24-hour goal that we got. I know it's not perfect for everyone. I know I'm not. Sometimes I get frustrated. I get down a little bit, or a lot. But 24-hour goal, keep sight in it. It'll get you back on track. First and foremost, before we start in our episode 111, Talk Active, it is a good episode, man. I'm telling you that right now. But first and foremost, let's pray. Please, Father God, no one should ever reject you based on how I represent you. Amen and amen. Okay. But other than that, guys, it's episode 111. It's amazing, man. We are in the month of January. Theme of the month is transparency. The things that we cannot change, to accept rather than fight every little thing. The one who put the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Since we practice practicality to be able to live well, we will apply the one that will work in our method. The topic of today's podcast, it's about the things that matter to me are cheap. Once again, the things that matter to me are cheap. I know, right? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. The things that matter to me are cheap. What are you, man? Yeah, you heard that right. It is cheap. your boy right here was raised on, I know, man, it's not about the geographical location and all that stuff, but I was raised in the Philippines. And Philippines is a country, amazing country. But we got to be realistic. Philippines is a third world country, and you will not understand until you live there. Not for a year, not for 2 years, not for 5 years, but maybe 20 years. Then we can talk, okay? So right now, I've been living in America for a long time, almost surpasses the time that I lived in the Philippines. But I got a good amount of time in the Philippines. I would say 2 decades. I lived there, and it's tough. It's tough in there, man, and it will teach you a lot of things in life that if you don't understand, you will resort to things that you are not. You are not like things that if you're envious person, then if it pushes you to that limit, it will make you do things that is hideous or atrocious, that is not you, and you will resort to things. Now, I'm saying is if you're brittle, then you will resort to crime just to get whatever you want. That's human nature, and that's a fact. Now, I was raised by my very strong grandma, and my grandma is a teacher. Now, my grandma is a teacher and have 11 children. Imagine that, 11 children. I don't know what's up with the old generation. All respect to old generation, but yeah, they're 11. They're 11. But other than that, man, that being said, my grandmother is an Ilocana. Ilocana is a somewhat of like a part of the country. Like Philippines is 7,000 plus islands. So what happens is, what is this, right? What is that? I don't like bugs in my studio. But other than that, Ilocanas are known in the Philippines to be tight on their money. They're like this. In other words, they're the cheapskate. They're labeled in that in the Philippines. Don't get me wrong. I'm what? 1/4 Ilocano. So don't get me wrong. I got that in my blood. That's why the title of this podcast is The Things That I Like Are Cheap. Yeah, you got that right. But other than that, like what I said, Philippines consists of 7,000 plus islands, and part of them are Ilocana. And then my grandmother is cheap. She has 11 children, and she's a teacher. And the teacher has that somewhat of a thinking, like, they lay it out. She has a lesson plan for school because she's a teacher. She handles 50 plus kids in the classroom, not like here in America. That's another fact for you guys. In the Philippines, in the classroom, there's not like 20 kids. There's like a lot, especially elementary school, a public elementary school. That's where she taught or teach. But other than that, she instilled a lot of things in me. And my mom was working abroad because, as a single mother, all respect to single mothers, man, they do have to make a living for their 4 kids because we got 4 brothers. But other than that, that's my mommy. That's my grandmother, an Ilocana, a cheap woman that, not cheap that she doesn't have money, but she is right on the dot, on the budget. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, she has dough. She has a lot of dough. But it's just that nature that you cannot change. So I was raised by my grandmother. Now about school and all that stuff, man. I don't have a lot of things in life, especially on the early days in my life. It's tough. When we talk about teenagers, especially these days, there's not really much of a change. It's just that the trend from 1990s or 1980s to year 2000, 2010 to 2020, it's the trend. But if you are living in a third world country, it is different because if you don't have that resources, basically we don't have money. We don't have enough budget to buy extra clothes, nice Nikes or, hoodies. I don't know why you want to wear a hoodie on a third world country, maybe at night or maybe at dawn. It's kind of cold a little bit. But yeah, other than that, man, it's not that I chose not to do it, but I do not have resources or money. Now, that itself accidentally taught me to develop an attitude of liking cheap things that made me satisfied. That made me feel satisfied. So I can't afford expensive things. So what I turn my attention to are the things that is cheap, that is common. Like if you got Pokemon cards, common cards, basic cards, rare cards, epic, legendary. Now I'm in that common level. So that goes to shirts, shoes, cheap stuff. Whatever I have, I keep it. I keep it because I don't have choice. I have to take care of things. But if that fails, then that's that for you, Ben. But these days are different. These days, teens got a lot of things. Not just here in America, but in Philippines, I see them. They look like Koreans. I'm just saying. For some reason, they look like Koreans. Now, it's the trend. That's what I'm saying. It's not 1990s kids or 1980s versus 2000 kids. It's the trend. If you go back to that time on our end, then it's going to be the same, but it's just different time frame and trend. Now, what is funny about this development that I made of liking cheap things is that it made me the person I am today. I carried it till this day, my witnesses are my people, my wife, my daughter, my mom-in-law. Why did I say that? Because they always tease me on the things that I keep that is very old, that is very worn out. Even my socks are torn. There's a lot of holes in it. They would ask me, why are you still have these things?
No.
They always say to give it up and buy a new one. They always say that. And you guys, if you're listening to this one, you gotta admit and confirm that I'm not making this up. So what I mean about, not just socks, but boxers, shirts, and many more. And frankly, I'll tell you this, I still have shoes in the garage that I bought since I was 22 years old. I'm not going to disclose my age. Yeah. It's still intact. That European leather boots. You know what I'm talking about. Dr. Martens. It's a trend in the Philippines. Unfortunately, Dr. Martens, they close all branches in the Philippines now. I don't know. I don't think they're making that much money anymore. But the DMs, I still have it till this day. It's intact. I always spray it. It's intact. Beautiful boots, man. I was 22 years old back then, and I still got it. That's just one example to what I'm talking about.
That's what she said.
Now, why are we talking about this cheap treasures of yours, Ben? I mean, why are we? Because there's a lesson that I'd like to instill since, this is a wellness channel and I'd like to share it to you guys. Now, the similarities of the individuals I'm about to mention, their life story is crazy similar. And I can truly relate on them. I can truly relate on their mindset because I have a living, breathing testament of this one. Now, let me give you an example. Warren Buffett, approximately his net worth is worth $65 billion. Maybe more now since Bitcoin is around. But he lives in the same house that he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Warren Buffett, take note, lives on a house that he bought in 1958, amount of $31,500. I know, Ben, he goes all around to make his business trip. He got this first class hotel. That's not the point though. When he doesn't have that, he still goes to this house that he bought in 1958. That's a fact. And if you know him, ask him directly. Ask him directly. The legendary John Urschel, a lineman for the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, we did not make the playoffs, but John Urschel, man, he manages to live $25,000 a year in spite of having that big contract, a lot of endorsement, and a lot of millions. 25,000 a year for this big name people, man, and same as Rob Gronkowski when he was a Super Bowl champion tight end for the New England Patriots, side by side with the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. He did not spend a dime on his money, his contract that he made entirely on New England Patriots. I'm not sure how long he stayed there for. I would say 5 to 8 years, and he had a couple of Super Bowl in that team. He lived off of endorsements and other things. Those are the things that he spent his money, but he did not touch the contract money that he made in New England Patriots. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That's what she said.
And lastly, Kawhi Leonard gets around in his 1997 Chevy Tahoe that he had since he was a teenager. He had a $94 million contract, on LA Clippers. Yeah, but he still goes around it. And it shows this famous people. Now, what is the difference between us? Of course, they got a lot of money. These people are amazing. These people are in a different level. But if you talk about the common things that we share, you'll be surprised. Now, like what I mentioned, these men are not cheap. They're worth a lot of millions. Buffett is billions. And their net worth is so big, is so huge. You cannot put or compare them to regular people like you and me. But they can literally buy anything they want in this life, or maybe a piece of land in Mars, a Martian, realtor, find one. I'm just messing with you. Well, what are the similarities? The things that matter to them are cheap. Kawhi Leonard still drives his 1997 Chevy Tahoe. I don't know how he manages that. Eats a lot of gas. Maybe it's a fuel injector, not a block, hopefully. But the fact is, he still drives that 1997 Chevy Tahoe. Maybe you can get that today at the price of $5,000, maybe less. That guy got a $94 million contract. He still rolls with that 1997 Chevy Tahoe. Wrap that around your head. Now, what's the point? Now, since this podcast, once again, is based on self-improvement and wellness, we are going to dissect it a little bit more on a practicality side, since that's the main goal here. By the way, shout out to our listeners in Libya. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for your support. Once again, the things that matter to these people are cheap. No, I'm not advising you to lower your standards according to your daily lifestyle or quality of living, but there is a fine line of transparency that you need to see. For January, transparency. Hope you guys are liking this so far. This is not by accident. These successful people still living their past ways, their past lives. They did not change at all. It's just that their lifestyle is the result of order. They have this mindset and thought from the get-go, from the root. It didn't change regardless of what they have achieved in life. They still remain the same person. Okay? Now, it means that they have sorted things out regardless of the result, of the outcome. So regardless of what is the fruit of their labor, they did not change. Money did not change them, regardless of Warren Buffett becomes successful, or Kawhi Leonard, or Rob Gronkowski, or Urschel living on a very frugal lifestyle in spite of them having that $94 million contract. They lived the same thing. The outcome is $94 million. So I'm still on it. I'm still driving my Tahoe. Now, they met the natural satisfaction or contentment in life? Ooh. Ooh. I can't imagine. No bashing, especially my Filipino people. I love my Filipino people, man. But that thing, that Filipino mentality, man. Woo! Like, I gotta keep up. Keeping up with the Jones. That's just real talk right there, That's the thing. These people met their satisfaction and contentment in life rather than competing with their neighbors. Now, the level of their happiness has been reached, The rest is a bonus. It's cruise control, Small, big, it's a bonus. That's it. I got my satisfaction. If I drive a Honda Civic, which I do, I love my Civic, man. Amazing little cars. And the gas that you save in it, and these days are very, very spoiled because the safety measures, the standards, the electronic stuff. It's amazing. I'm glad I like cheap things, man. It's just that if you met that satisfaction and contentment, then whatever comes in your way is a bonus. Now, they develop interests that are decidedly below their financial means. Take note, they develop interests that are decidedly below their financial means, and as a result, any money, endorsements, incomes come in their way is a bonus. They're able to chase the things they really like about. Now, take note, you're already happy with your Honda Civic. You're already satisfied with the mileage. You already have all the little things that you can put in there. You can move on now. Right? You can move on. You don't have to buy another car in the next 5 years. You can, literally, if you wanted to. But if you reach that contentment, you can see low mileage, great low mileage in the odometer, great gas mileage, safety feature is amazing. You can go from point A to point B nicely, car smooth runs. You're good. Contentment was reached. It is amazing. Now, what does that mean? Ladies and gentlemen, it translates to freedom. Freedom of burden. Freedom of keeping up with the Jones. Freedom of having to show people in social media that you got this and you're the one. You're the one. Fine, you're the one. Then what now? Go back home and show again and again and again. That's a trend. That's a trend in this era. Now, just that they become wealthy beyond our wildest imagination. That separates me from Warren Buffett. Our things that we like are cheap. Okay, he had achieved a wealth beyond our wildest imagination. Okay, I don't have that, but I got my contentment and I got my satisfaction. I'm not preaching and sounding like a glorified individual, but I like my socks with holes in it. I like my shirt. I like my boxers with some holes in it. My DMs is still alive since I was 22 years old. I'm just saying the transparency I'm sharing, the similarities that we got is undeniable. I cannot change that because the similarities are there. I like cheap things. So things that matter to them are still cheap. Regardless of what they have achieved in life, they are still able to enjoy what they love most in the world. Now that should become a wow moment. Wow moment for people that achieved it. And I must say, oh man, you know that song? That's the price you pay for the things that you want to achieve, but you have to sacrifice things and you did not anticipate it. That's the price you pay. It means that I don't have to scam people to get more money. Ooh. You know, the his and hers, like, oh, you got to buy these things, man. It makes your life well. No, you know, it's pyramid. It's pyramid scheming. No bashing. no pun intended, no shots fired. It's just that, or I don't have to bury myself or my family in debt just to keep up with the Jones. Ooh, now that's shots fired right there. Ooh, that's more than shots fired. That's an aha moment. Yes, my friends, I don't have to scam you anymore because things that matter to Ben are cheap. That's just an amazing thing that I cannot deny, and I was itching to share that because things in life, man, I mean, regardless of what you have right now, regardless of the achievement, kudos to you. Cheers to that. Coffee here. I got my coffee. The great Bob Marley, once again, when he was interviewed, how much money you have in bank. You're probably rich. You're probably, because you're famous, you're Bob Marley, you're rich, you got a lot of money. He responded really wisely. A great Bob Marley, he's just like, is that how you define your richness, the money in the bank? He doesn't define it that way, man. I tell you what, he defines richness is singing. Richness is sharing God. Richness is a little bit of puff here and puff there. Things he likes are cheap, but he's a great Bob Marley. Now, I'd like to end this part right here, guys. We are going to close out the month of January strong, that we have a more firm grip of the meaning of the word transparency. Now, that we are clear on the things that we desire is attainable on the simplest manner. That way, we can still enjoy our freedom with our loved ones, with our family, with the people that matters most. That we are clear on the things that we desire is attainable on the simplest manner. That way, we can still enjoy our freedom. We also learn that the more things we desire in life, the more things we need to sacrifice. You have to earn it. You will have to reap what you sow, maybe at the cost of someone you love. Some plot against those who do not have or do have what you want, those so-called achievements, but at what cost? The less we actually enjoy our lives and the less we are free. Now, we added another meaning of the saying, less is more. Happy January, folks. Thank you for listening. May God bless us all. This is your main boy. Peace out.